Hey everybody, welcome back. We are gearing up for our next virtual tour, which is going to be with Sussex Craft Distillery. So I'm pretty psyched about this. It is our first time taking you into a distillery. So I love that the folks at Sussex Craft Distilling agreed to come online. It has been a busy, busy time for our friends and partners in the distilling industry. So distilling in New Brunswick is something that has grown over the last handful of years. I think we're up to about 9 or 10 distilleries that are currently active in the province. That is not something that you would have seen, a handful of years ago, but just like everywhere else, we are riding that wave that has come on the wave of the craft beer explosion. Of course, distillers have come up right after that.
Hello there.
Hello, how are you?
Very good, very good. This is all new to me.
That's okay, you found me.
Awesome, yeah.
Well, are you good to get going? Are you feeling good?
I'm feeling good, yes. Let's.
All right, wonderful. Well, well, thank you so much, John. I'm really excited to do this with you. Of course, we haven't had a chance to meet in person yet. So just like everyone following along online, this is going to be a virtual tour for me as well. So I'm excited to hear what you've been up to. So I'll just let people know what's going on, and I'll get right back to you. So welcome everybody back to your Uncorked virtual tour. This is our second tour today on Good Friday. I'm Jillian with Uncorked Tours, and I am your guide, I guess we could say. But we are here with John of Sussex Craft Distillery, who is one of the distillers. Head distiller, right?
Yes, that's right.
Yes, wonderful. So lots of these virtual tours that you've joined me on over the past couple weeks have been places that I'm familiar with, but I'm excited to chat with John today and get his take on Sussex Craft Distilling, especially given some of the new challenges that businesses are facing. So maybe I'd like to start by maybe asking you, John, can you tell me the history of Sussex Craft Distilling and how you ended up not leading. I shouldn't put words in, but tell me your story. Where did Sussex Craft Distilling come from?
So it really it's a group of guys. There's 9 of us, and I'm one. And we started out just it's a group that's in part we've all played hockey together as youngsters, played baseball, and so we've known each other for all our lives, really. And so we did some investing and following the stock markets and that kind of thing. And a few years ago, the mines closed down, and so we had this little pot of money, and we were thinking of ways to maybe give back to the community, make it a bit of a destination. And so I had this idea around the distilling, and it came from, in part, traveling through Nova Scotia and the craft distilling industry that's really burgeoning down there. So the guys all agreed, and we found a local guy that was doing it in his laundry room. So spent a little bit of time with him, and then took the course out west. And about a year and a half later, we opened up, and so right now we've got about 12 products, another 5 or 6 recipes that are ready to go. We're looking to launch this summer, but things are going to change here a bit. We had to create a couple of new products with this latest pandemic issue so now we're into the hand sanitizer business, but and the response from that has been absolutely overwhelming. We've been swamped with requests, and it's been I would say energizing in a sense that there's real purpose here beyond giving people a nice taste to wet their palate on a weekend or something. This is something that can contribute to the safety and well-being of our community. So
yeah, I mean, I guess to talk about that a little bit more, can you tell me how that call went out? How is it that you found out that there was a need or an opportunity for you to move production over to some of those sanitation products?
Yeah, it really was something that we started looking at it, and it's sanitizer as its base is ethanol and alcohol. So we were looking, not really thinking we were going to go there, but maybe 2 weeks ago we started getting calls from nursing homes, health clinics, veterinarian clinics, and those requests. Then you start to realize there's a real need that, and in some cases, I would say a little bit of desperation and panic. So we said, well, it's not that difficult. There's a few things that we needed to do in terms of changing production. So we do have a little bit of a mess in the back. Normally, if anybody's been on the tour, they would see it. We try to keep it nice and clean and tidy, but in order to adjust and ramp up for production, we've really had to move fast. And so we put the word out last Sunday. My son looks after our Facebook, and he put a little post, and since then the emails have been coming in nonstop. It's and in a lot of cases 3-4 emails a minute all day. So we've got hundreds and hundreds of emails, and we're still, I spent most of the day today trying to respond. We're going to respond to them all. So if anybody's listening, you will get an email back, but please be patient. And we've done some partnering. So Gill's Wineries, they provided us some low wines to allow us to ramp up some production for the ethanol. And
great.
So yeah, and fortunately for us, we had been looking at expanding our production to, with some larger stills. So we've got a new still that just arrived yesterday, in fact, and we're in the process of getting it hooked up, and we'll be able to quadruple our production. So that within a few short weeks, we'll be able to meet all the demand.
Wow, that's really amazing, because we're all hearing about how people are having to change and come up with creative new ideas, and the distillers really were the first ones that were kind of hit with this. We need you to stop making your products so that you can make something else that obviously is more important at this particular jump in time.
Well, and I'll share one anecdotal story. We had a lady come in here just a couple of days ago, and you could tell she was feeling a little panicked. And the way we've been doing it is for our orders. We've as the orders came in, we would bag them and tag them, and we weren't selling to people just walking in. But this lady, she shared that she worked in the emergency department. She had one tiny bottle of hand sanitizer, and that's all that she had provided to her. So, we made sure that she left here with a bottle of hand sanitizer. So, and that makes it worthwhile, right? It's more. This is community. This isn't just about product and everything else, but this is fun too. Like we, all of us enjoy coming down. And when we started out, my buddy and I were sitting there by the still watching it for the first time, and we were sharing that we were getting feeling good one finger at a time as the spirit was dripping into the still. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's I imagine it's probably something that you have to be aware of, right? As you're making your spirit, those drips that are coming out are quite strong in most of the case, right?
Well, and that's there is science to this industry, but there's a lot of art, and it's like cooking making a cake, right? You can follow the recipe, and but somebody that's been baking that cake for 20 years, I'm not even going to touch them in terms of how they do it. So we follow the science, but we look for a taste, and that taste is what we follow, and so we have our guidelines. Okay, this is when we cut off the heads. This is when we cut off the tails. But if the taste isn't there, then we'll cut off earlier or later, depending on how things are shaping up. So, but do you want me to give you a little tour around? And
Yeah, I'd love to. I feel terrible. I forgot that today was actually a holiday, so I don't have a bottle of Sussex spirits
I've got a
here. So I cheated and I poured myself a little gin. But I know that you guys have such a great selection of products. Can you maybe flip the view on the camera around and take people through a rundown of what it is you guys offer? Because you've got a bunch of products available now.
We do, and we're quite pleased to say that, and proud to say, we've won a number of awards. I see it. There are a few medals that we have up on the shelves there now, but we've won 7 awards, 2 international. So we've got our Awards Creek, and platinum, white and platinum, 2 types of white rums, and we've got our.
And I know that is a fabulous rum to make a mojito with.
Well, I'll share our. We received the Atlantic Rums Connection sent us a note for our Sussex Corner Golden. They did a blind tasting, and I won't put down any of the competitors, but we were one of I think there were 10 different samples, and these are some well-recognized high-end rums. And in the blind tasting, we came first. So
that's wonderful.
Yeah. So in our little shop, if you ever come into to our main tasting room, and normally we do tastings every day. We've stopped the tasting because of the current situation, but we would offer free tastings. Anybody who wants to come in, we have samples and a taste, hopefully for everybody. We've got you can see the Shoreline Blue and Lemon, which are kind of sours. Our Northern Comfort, which is by far our biggest seller, it's won 2 awards internationally and nationally. And
that's maple flavored.
It is, yes.
Right?
It's aged with maple wood, and then blend it with some spices. And then we've got a barrel aged Northern Comfort, and that one's really nice. It's we age it in a bourbon barrel for a year, and it gives a nice little bourbon taste at the end. And then we've got our Dutch Valley, and the Dutch Valley, actually, you mentioned gin. That's the one that won us a gold medal at a blind tasting for the SIP Awards internationally. And it started out as a gin, but it was terrible. So I blended it with some other spices, and it's kind of a Sambuca light. So much lighter than a Sambuca, but has that anise flavor. And it's a very nice aperitif, yeah. And we get a lot of response. So all of our products, we try to use local. You can see the cranberry and the blueberry. Our blueberries come from Granite Town. Our cranberries are from Memram Cook. We've got a number of products. And like I say, there's always something under the cupboard that if somebody's a real aficionado of rum, I'm always experimenting with our rums, from a dark rum and spice rum and that kind of thing. So this is our tasting room, and I am going to put on masked. We have some people working out back. And so I just want to make sure that I'm staying safe and all that.
Yeah, absolutely.
I apologize for the cameras, but so, and I apologize, it is a little messy, you'll see, but we're set up for making our hand sanitizer bottles. There's some bottles now. And this is our new still. It's just getting connected up. We'll have it ready for Monday. We are running a run at the moment, and you can see it's coming out here. Essentially, it would go in at around 12%, and comes out here around 50%.
Okay.
And this is.
And is that? Would you have to distill that then a second time through a finishing run to get it to a higher alcohol?
Exactly. So this is our flute still, and this is where we do our finishing run. And we just run today. So for all our hand sanitizer, that's what we would do. We start here with our low wines, do the stripping run, finish with our flute still, and it comes out around 93%. And then we would blend that down to a 70%, hand sanitizer base. So.
Okay. And so, I mean, I guess the hand sanitizer, just aside, because I want to talk about the things that people can safely and legally consume.
Yes.
I'm wondering, you've mentioned rum a couple times. Would rum be kind of the backbone to your product lineup and to the philosophy of what you want to produce?
Rum is, well, so rum was the one thing that all of us guys liked. So it was what brought us together. And but we do have plans to move to whiskey. That's a couple of us do want to get into that, and that's also another reason for the new still. But the basis for all our liqueurs, we actually make a neutral, which is just a sugar base, and is by definition made with either potatoes or grain.
Sorry, could you say that again, John? You cut out there for a minute.
Okay. Yeah, sorry. I was just saying that we make a sugar-based vodka, so just a neutral spirit for our fruit liqueurs and that kind of thing. Because the rum, if you don't, and early on we tried this, and there's a lot of experimentation that goes on here. So if anybody wants to sign up as a taster, we're always looking for volunteers. But the rum base, if you blend it with anything, you'd get a daiquiri kind of flavor, right? And so for our cranberry, as an example, we use an orange infusion. So I start with a sugar neutral spirit, and then we do we use some orange peel and have it flow through, similar to the Bombay effect, where they put in all the spices and botanicals into a gin basket and have the ethanol and spirit flow through that to create the unique flavor. And that's what we do for our cranberry, our shoreline, a few other. The Dutch Valley is another one that we use, the gin basket. So.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, and again, it's rum is the main thing with rum is molasses. So if you're using molasses, it's rum. If you don't use molasses, then it's something else. So.
Okay, well that's good to know. And I know that there are so many strict naming guidelines as well, right? So you might find yourself, you think you're making a product and you know what you think it is, and then you go to label it or sell it, and you can't call it that. anymore, right? I know there are, especially around aging requirements, right?
Yeah, whiskey, Canadian whiskey, for example, has to be aged for 3 years. You cannot call it Canadian whiskey unless it's sat in that barrel for 3 years. But whiskey, bourbon is a whiskey in the U.S. Their unique requirements is it has to be made in the U.S. for one. For two, it has to age for a minimum of 1 year, and it can only use virgin barrels. So they don't use any used barrels. Once they've used them, they discard them, and that's where the Scotch industry, some wine industry. Types of wines and the rum industry, they'll use used bourbon barrels. So,
well, I mean, if they're only using them once for bourbon, then there must be a fairly large supply, right?
Thousands. Yes, thousands.
Wow, that's interesting. And so would the requirement of virgin oak in that case have to do with the fact that it's the oak that's actually imparting a key characteristic on the bourbon?
Absolutely, and in fact, if you try our Sussex Corner Golden that I mentioned, won that blind tasting, we use wood stave. So we want to use local products as much as possible. So we're using local wood, and we can't find local barrels, so we use the wood staves. We roast the wood staves and then age the rum in the virgin staves. And you'll get a very distinct flavor. You'll get a little hint of smokiness. You'll get some vanilla and caramel flavors and notes just at the very end. And it's a nice, smooth sipping rum. And it's been my favorite for some time now. Actually, is the Sussex Corner Golden.
Oh, nice.
Cool.
So time goes quickly on these things. We're coming up to the end of our time together. But I was wondering if you could tell me, what is the best way for people to get their hands on your products for consuming? Because I know you've got a lineup and you've got a system on the hand sanitizer side. So what do people do if they want to find your products? Are you through all the NB liquor stores? Are there things that they have to come to you to find? What's the story there?
We have, AMBL, we're in almost every liquor store in the province. There's a few up like above Woodstock on the western side that we're not in, but I think the last count was around 18 liquor stores in the province. And most of our products, some of them are not all listed, but most of them, the main ones, the white rums, the Northern Comfort, and now the Shoreline Blue, which just started coming out. And that's been the one that's been, we've gone to some recent taste testings, one in Moncton, one in Quistamsis at the Q-Plex. And both times the Shoreline Blue has been by far the most popular item. So, and we did have a lot of plans for this summer. We don't know where this is going to go. We like to do a lot of tastings. The plan was to get out to the liquor stores and do tastings and engage with the public. And every time we do it, our products are always well received. So unfortunately, there's not that ability to get that tasting. But as soon as this thing is over, and we're all hoping that it's soon, we're going to open the doors again. And we still. We do limit the number of people that come into our facility at a time, but we're still open to the public. If somebody wants to come in and buy a bottle, they can do that here, but they can buy it at every AMBL store.
Okay, perfect. So still easy to get to. We don't need to panic yet.
No.
Well, listen, John, is there anything else that you wanted to share with me or with the folks that are watching this before we wrap up for the afternoon?
I just want to say thank you for inviting us, and and we are looking to expand and grow. This little sideline here with the hand sanitizer that has distracted us a bit, but it's brought a lot of other things for a couple of people to help address the need, and so that's a good thing. And we have plans. Like I say, we've got 5 new products that we're going to be launching, and so stay tuned. Go into our Facebook page, on Instagram. This is a great format. I love this, and we really appreciate you reaching out and allowing us the opportunity to engage with everyone. So.
Oh my gosh! Well, you're so welcome. We do have a question here from Driving Slate. They're wondering, are your products also available in agency stores or just the corporate liquor stores?
Some agency stores, but I don't have a list. I don't know which ones do and do not. I know Wash Des Moines had some, and I believe the one in Norton, but beyond that, I'm not too certain. So.
Right, and I think with the agency stores in particular, it's kind of a store manager selection. So if you go to your agency store and you see that they don't have Sussex Distilling, that's always put an ask in for them to make an order, right?
Tell them to give me a call, and 433-2800, and we'll be over to drop it off to them. So.
Yeah, perfect. 433-2800. We'll cut that out of the replay, maybe. All right. Well, John, thank you so much. I really do appreciate you taking the time out of your very, very busy weekend. I know it's crazy for you guys right now. And to everybody who has joined us on our virtual tour with Sussex Craft Distilling, thank you for your comments and your posts. My name is Jillian, and I'm the owner of Uncorked Tours, and we're going to continue to offer these virtual tours as long as we can. If you want to show your support, you can pop over to our website, uncorkednb.com. We've set up a virtual tip page. So if you want to throw a toonie in my hat, I would love it. A 20, I would love it even more. And $50 or more, we actually are going to give you a gift card, dollar for dollar, that you can use in our tasting room when we open in the city market this summer, fingers crossed, or on a future Uncorked tour. And we really do want to see you out once we are allowed to get close again. So, John, I do wish you all the best this holiday weekend. And I hope you are able to stay safe and see your family virtually.
Yes, thank you very much. And you too, please enjoy the weekend with all your family as much as you can, and everyone, please stay safe.
All right, wonderful. Thank you so much.
Okay, bye.
Bye.